What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and here we have the treasure map playthrough. So I'm doing nav level 25 in this video, so it's a little bit deeper on. I did actually record a playthrough on my stream yesterday, but I have actually changed my teams around a little bit to the teams that I showed initially in my treasure map preparation, talking about my own personal teams. First of which, though, we have the actual intrusion fight, which is the exact same. There are no changes here, and the supports are pretty nice on this team as well for enabling things to happen in certain ways. Of course, we've got this stage 2 with Dice, Tanaka, and Baccarat all separately with special bind. They give you a really bad 1.1 orb boost, but despite having these pretty bad buffs that don't really do too much, like even with Ray's max on the crew, he's giving us a 2x attack boost for 3 turns. We can use Luffy to actually buff one of the buffs, I think by 0.25. I can't remember which buff it actually will buff. I think it might be the attack boost. Yeah, it buffs the attack boost by 0.25, so it becomes 2.25 attack boost. We do get some color affinity via a support that we do launch on the final stage, so we get a 1.5 affinity boost too. Like, it's not the best buffs, but we can still actually get the job done, luckily, against this opponent, which is cool. I don't know how deep this particular team is going to be able to carry, but at least until nav level 25, from my experience thus far, the team has been able to work pretty efficiently, which is great. So overall, we'll keep tracking along with this team and we'll move on. But where the big changes have occurred is going to be in the next team, where from now on, I'm going to be challenging Lucci in the mid-map, because I want to make sure that he has as low as HP as possible so that I can abuse this team. Now, the team you're about to see versus Lucci, you could probably make the team faster by taking out some of the supports, but I mainly just have the supports on the team just as like a little bit of a safety net, just in case if I do actually need to do damage against him. But it's actually not too bad. So this is the team here utilizing Legend Queen as the captain, with the subs of Kawamatsu, Trafalgar Law, Alba, and Whitebeard. Now, what I will say is we do get lucky and find Koala here, but ultimately I end up using the specials in the same way just to kind of showcase how the team works. So by using the Law special, it actually can kill Baccarat, but it is still dependent on some statistics. But either way, with the Queen super type, we can bypass barrier and kill Baccarat, even if Law special doesn't do that. Stage 2, though, what we're going to do is by using the supports, it gets rid of all of the attack down. The Kawamatsu special gets rid of the despair and 5 turns of the special bind. And by activating our own captain action of Queen, it allows us to just kill Lucci pretty much by himself. But it also means that we can avoid the captain swap that occurs on stage 3. And then when we reach the final stage, we can just apply the tap timing bonus damage to basically kill Lucci by itself, which is why I said fighting in the mid-map is pretty important, because yes, you could take this against the final boss Lucci, but it's not the greatest team, I'll admit. It's probably not the best option to use this team on the final boss. You can definitely do some damage with it, but it's something that I wouldn't really suggest to do. You can get a decent chain boost, of course, and having chain is pretty important to get around the chain attack down effect, but either way, it's a team that kind of works versus Lucci. I'm going to use it for now until something else crazy gets found out or discovered. Probably not, though. I'll stick with this and we'll just take on Lucci within the mid-map. And then, because we have changed up the team a little bit versus Lucci, I now have Carrot free to use on another team, which is what we do a little bit later on. But this one here versus Ray's Max, this one is essentially the same, except I have changed around some of the supports on this team. So I kind of figured out as I was playing it that I can actually just remove all the defense completely just with some supports, rather than having to use a secondary special of Sanji to activate Onami to reduce defense for 2 turns. I can just remove all the defense by itself, because by using the EX special of Luffy to transform him into Gear 5, when we launch his special, it's going to remove 1 turn of enemy buffs, which is great. And then also we have the support of Ace to remove 2 turns of defense up. But then we can have the support of Int, Kizuna Rare Recruit Brook attached to Sanji to remove another 2 turns of increased defense. So we can remove all of these buffs by ourselves, and then we can just do normal attacks and kill. On the revive, well, you don't see it in this case here, but when the enemy revives normally, he will actually die just from the ignited status from Ace. But in this case here, because Luffy was actually the one to kill him, it doesn't actually activate as intended. But either way, it's a fast team, a relatively fast team to get through it. Of course, we've got the Kobe support on Garp to remove the attack down and such. And then we move on to the Battle Rush fights. So we have Spandam here, and this team has been slightly shifted as well. So we now have A couple of characters on this team changed so that we don't get the animation at the start of the fight that plays when it says you've activated an EX super special. We can just skip that altogether. Having Hiyori on the team to give us guaranteed Wano slots, so we're not like fishing for matching slots. And then by using the special of Vista, we can just wave clear the first 2 stages with 100,000 fixed damage. On the final stage, Kanjuro gets around most of the debuffs. We do have the level 12 modded ship of Mary to remove 1 turn of Despair. And then we've got two turn removers in Ulti and Corazon. And then we can just go ahead and kill. Pretty simple. And then, as I said, because of the fact that our Lucci team has basically been changed from the ground up, we now get access to Carrot that we can use on another team, which is what we'll be doing. So we're going to be using Carrot versus Karina, which means that we don't have to worry about a lot of those defensive effects on the final stage. We're going to be using the Halloween Shirahoshi as a sub, which will give us a full board of rainbow slots at the start of the quest. And also because she's int and free spirit, we can use that support rare recruit Mihawk to reduce defense to 0 when we reach the final stage. We also have Kuma for wave clearing. We got Toki to give us attack and all boost, and then we can use the special of Tesoro, which will give us a 3-turn chain lock that we can carry from stage 2 into stage 3, whilst also allowing us to wave clear. So it's a great combo, actually. I don't see myself changing this team at all. Incredibly fast, gets the job done. Really, really solid team. Of course, the team I was using previously was using the Tesoro captains, and I had Snake Man on it, and I had to use a lot more specials and effects to get through it, whereas this team can do the same thing, but get through it just a lot faster. And it actually does do more damage, I think. It probably does do more damage, actually. So it just works out better. It's just a better team overall. So if you have the units and you have them free, you can definitely go ahead and do that. But now we have the final boss team, which is going to be up against Tesoro himself. And this team, I basically built it initially, and it just worked. So I don't plan on changing it. It does do quite a lot of damage to the opponent. So it's just overall pretty good. But one thing that we kind of haven't discussed yet is the fact that they've actually changed the treasure map fights slightly. And I'm sure many of you guys out there would have kind of realized is that the turtles in this treasure map have significantly higher defense than they have previously. Now, I don't know the exact statistics for the amount of defense that turtles had on previous treasure maps, but what I do know is that I was able to find out that the turtles in this treasure map have 500,000 defense, meaning you need to actually deal 500,000 damage to the turtles before you can start dealing damage to them. So that's annoying because wave clear specials have now kind of diminished in value a little bit. You actually want to have fixed damage dealing wave clearing, which is a lot harder to find compared to multiplier attack wave clearing. So you can still get through it with just using a special that is a multiplier times attack, but it just has to be a much higher amount of damage, which is just really frustrating. And just them going out of their way to do that, to reduce the amount of speed farming strats that we have, is very frustrating. But, you know, we're still finding ways to do it, which is really, really cool. But with all that being said, that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I'm that, guys. I'll see you guys within the next video.